Hello, everyone. I'm Melissa from Gilda's Club, Grand Rapids, and we're so glad to come together today on this Facebook Live. We hope that you are all doing well and staying safe and adjusting back to the school year, to the fall. It's kind of nice to have a little break from all that heat. It's a little bit warm out there today, but we are coming to you today and going to talk about a couple of things. We're still keeping our focus on Children's Cancer Survivor Month and in the month of September, with having someone come to us from Children's Healing Center. We have Ella Beckett with us. And Ella I've known her for a little while now, and she also just recently got her MSW. Congratulations, yay! From Calvin, right?
Yeah, it was actually just my bachelor's though.
Oh, I'm sorry. You always talk so nicely that, I just think you have your master's. So I hope you go on because you have great insight. So thank you for correcting me. And recently started working at Children's Healing Center. And I think you had volunteered there before. Is that correct, Ella?
Yep.
That's great. So it's good to have you with us, Ella. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to be with us.
Yeah, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you want to tell us a little bit about what Children's Healing Center is, what you do there, and then what maybe you specifically do there.
Sure, yeah. So the Children's Healing Center really provides a crucial missing component of the holistic healthcare puzzle. So basically, we provide a place where kids with weakened immune systems and their families can come and fulfill their social, emotional, and physical needs. So a lot of times kids with compromised immunity, whether that's due to a cancer diagnosis or a congenital heart disease or another illness of some kind, they have to live very socially isolated. So we're a safe place where kids and their families can come and play and interact with other families who are going through similar journeys. And we do lots of art projects and fitness activities and just have some social gatherings. So our goal is just to provide a refuge of fun for our families. So I am the program administrator here. So I spend a lot of my time planning programming, communicating with member families, and reaching out to prospect families and just connecting them with some of the programs that I think that they might be interested in.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, what a neat little niche and really important. I love that you said that component of a family's life who is dealing with a childhood illness of some sort. And who knew that it would be especially poignant in this time of COVID, right? Like, never have guessed that. So you guys must really have been extra busy during the COVID time, offering different activities for families and ways to connect, especially because they really couldn't go out in the public.
Yeah, I think that COVID has really given all of us a glimpse into how our families with immune compromised kids live all the time, like masking and staying home rather than going out and, being vigilant about washing our hands. These are all things we've been doing. They're not new to our families. And a lot of us have had to give up social events and gatherings and things that a lot of our families have to give up all the time, not just during the pandemic. So
yeah, so you guys are really well prepared for the rituals and the processes that the rest of us have really had to learn about. You guys already knew, and we're making those practices regularly.
Yep.
So tell me, when a family comes to you, what what is their process of getting into the building and getting into a program? What does that look like?
Yeah, so all of our families have been referred by a medical professional or by another family, maybe through a friend who came here and really benefited from the center. And so once we receive that referral, we will reach out to them, and we usually connect with families and get them in for a tour. And then once they've seen our space and kind of learn what we're all about, then we try to connect them with programs that fit the needs of their family and the ages of their kids. And yeah, once we get them through the door once, we just try to keep getting them to come back and get them plugged in and connected with other families.
Oh, great. And is there a cost to your program?
No, all of our programming is absolutely free to families. We are, a nonprofit. We are donor funded. A lot of our programming, we have specific donors who, choose a specific program to fund. So no, it's completely free to families.
Oh, that's wonderful. Especially families who are dealing with an illness tend to be financially taxed. Not only emotionally, energetically, time-wise, all of that, but that piece of finances can really be a tough one. So it's wonderful that you offer your programs for free. That's great. Can people just call you directly, or is it they should call their doctor and have that referred through them?
I would probably suggest, talking with your doctor and or social worker, or whoever your connection is, because we do need like a confirmation that the child qualifies, that they are immune compromised or would really benefit from what we do here. So
okay, great, good to know. All right, well, and we're going to get a little sampling of something that they might do at the center for an activity with the families or the kids. But let me ask too, now it just ran across my brain, siblings also can come as well as the child who has the challenge, huh?
Yep, so one of our main things is that we love being a place for the whole family. So siblings and parents are more than welcome. Even if the child who's sick isn't feeling well, the siblings are always more than welcome to come to program, even if the qualifying child isn't able to make it.
Oh, nice. And I'm assuming there's a screening like there is everywhere right now, right? And just a screening and a temperature take and all that good stuff.
Yep, we take everyone's temperature. We make sure that you're symptom free. You don't have a runny nose or a tummy ache or anything like that. We just want to make sure that we keep our space as germ-free as possible.
Wonderful. Oh, I love it. All right, great. Well, we have a wonderful book for you to emphasize what you might do at, and in a topic that is pertinent to families who have a child and have more than one children, but have a child that has an illness. That often all the focus is on the child with the illness, which is where it should be. But sometimes the siblings kind of lose their voice or maybe have a hard time finding their place in that. So this particular book is about that. And so I'm going to share my screen here and take turns reading it. So here we go. And I'll start the reading, Ella. And then you can go next. There we go. What About Me When Brothers and Sisters Get Sick? By Allan Peterkin, MD, illustrated by Frances Middendorf. And I'm going to go past a couple of pages here because that's the title page again. And then I'll let you start, Ella.
Laura was 2 years older than Tom. When he was born, she helped her mommy dress and feed him, and she pushed his carriage. Most of the time, she was very glad to be his big sister.
There she is, pushing that pram, huh? As Tom got older, I gotta move our picture. Laura liked to play with him. When she got home from school, they would rake the leaves into a big pile, then run and jump in them. A younger brother could be a lot of fun.
One morning, while Laura was at school, Tom was playing with her favorite doll and the arm broke off. When Laura got home and found it, she was mad. She had told him 100 times not to touch her dolls. "You're nothing but a big baby," she yelled. "I wish I didn't have a brother." Sometimes a younger brother could really be a pain.
Laura and Tom played together almost every day after school, but now it seemed they fought over every little thing. It was not as much fun for Laura because Tom was often tired and cranky. One afternoon, Aunt Anne was waiting for Laura after school. "Where's Mommy and Tom?" asked Laura. "Tom is sick and Mommy is at the hospital with him, so I have come to take you home." Aunt Anne gave Laura a big hug and they walked home together.
When Mommy got home, it was very late. She told Laura that Tom had to stay in the hospital for tests and that Daddy was there with him. That night, Laura had trouble getting to sleep. She wondered if it was her fault that Tom got sick. She felt bad about yelling at Tom and wishing she didn't have a brother.
The next day, Laura and her parents went to see Tom at the hospital. He was hooked up to tubes that made strange beeping sounds. He was too weak to sit up. Laura was scared. She wondered if Tom was going to die. When her friend Sally's grandpa went to the hospital, he never came home. That would be a scary moment, going to the hospital to see your sibling. Lots that it's hard to understand.
Tom stayed in the hospital a long time. It was getting colder and all the leaves had fallen from the trees. Laura missed having Tom to play with. Mommy and Daddy didn't have much time for her either because they spent so much time at the hospital.
Everyone asked Laura about Tom. "How's Tom?" asked her teacher and classmates at school. "Poor little Tommy, how's he doing?" asked Mr. Lee at the grocery store. "When will Tom be out of the hospital?" asked their neighbor, Mrs. Jackson. Nobody said, "How are you, Laura? How's school, Laura?" When they asked about Tom, Laura just wanted to say, "What about me?"
One night at dinner, Laura said, "Daddy, do you want to hear what I did in school today?" "Not now, Laura. Mommy and I are talking about Tom." Laura was so upset she wanted to cry. She sat still and stared at her plate. When Mommy asked her to finish her dinner, Laura screamed, "I don't want to." She banged her fist down so hard her milk spilled all over the table. Daddy shouted, "Go to your room right now. I will speak to you later."
I think that must be pretty common with families who have a lot of stress, that there's misunderstanding and sometimes arguments. "I'm sorry if it feels that we are ignoring you, honey," said Mommy. "We are very worried about Tom, but Daddy and I love you very much, even if we have not had time to tell you lately." Laura started to cry. "It's my fault Tom got sick. That's why Daddy's mad at me. If I hadn't yelled at Tom..." Mommy looked surprised. "Sweetheart, it's not your fault. And Daddy is not mad at you at all. Nothing you said or think can make someone sick. It's just something that happens. Tomorrow, we will all go to the hospital together to learn more about Tom's illness."
The next day at the hospital, Mommy introduced Laura to Dr. Milson. "I'm sorry that your brother is sick," said Dr. Milson. She then explained Tom's illness to Laura and her parents. She told them that it was serious but not catching. She said that the medicine seemed to be helping. Tom had to stay in the hospital a little longer, but he would be able to go home soon. He would then have to come back to the hospital once in a while for treatments. "Can I play with him when he comes home?" asked Laura. "Yes, indeed," said Dr. Milson. "You can even play with him here as soon as he starts to feel better."
After the meeting, Laura and Mommy and Daddy went to spend time with Tom. He was feeling stronger and gave everyone a hug. Laura sat on Tom's bed and they started to color together. Laura had learned how to print Tom's name in school and put T-O-M at the top of his picture.
When they left the hospital, Mommy and Daddy took Laura to her favorite restaurant for meatball pizza. Laura told them about one of the hamsters getting loose at school and how everyone, including the teacher, had to walk on tiptoes until he was found. Laura and Mommy and Daddy all laughed together. Laura ordered her special dessert, a double dip ice cream cone of vanilla and chocolate with sprinkles. It was Tom's favorite too. "When Tom gets home, can we make a special dinner with all the things he likes best?" asked Laura. "What a great idea," said Daddy. "And you can help make the shopping list now that you print so well." Daddy gave Laura a big hug.
And they all held hands and went home together. The end. Oh, what a great book. I'm so glad that we read that together. What part did you like?
I really liked all of it. I think I really liked the part where Laura's parents took her out for dinner and she finally felt like she was seen and heard, and that her parents were finally giving her, the same amount of attention that they, out of necessity, had to give her little brother Tom.
Yeah, I did too. And just hearing about the hamster and just everyday kinds of things rather than always having a conversation about the illness or what's happening, brought some normalcy to Laura's life and theirs too.
Mm-hmm.
I loved too how they had to learn that. Like, it's not, when you have a child that is ill, it is so all encompassing. I mean, as a parent, that's just like all you think about. And so the other kids really help balance that, and they had to learn, oh, we have to balance this. We have to find some ways to make it so that there's space to focus on the illness and what needs to happen, but also still sharing that attention with the other kids. Yeah, so it's very good, and it's not always easy. And I loved the piece too where they explained that Laura thought it was her fault. And I know at Gilda's Club we have heard that more than once, where a sibling would think that it was their fault that their sibling got sick or died or whatever the situation was. And so really addressing that and talking about that, and how brave Laura was for saying that. Not an easy thing for a child to do. So yeah, that's a great book. I'm glad we have those at Gilda's Club. So, all right. So Ella, you're going to show us this great activity that you can do together and write at home, right?
Yeah. So we do a lot of crafts here at the center. As you can see, I'm currently in our art room, and there's some artwork even hanging up behind me.
Nice.
But one of our favorite crafts is actually making slime. And I think not only is it really fun for the kids to make it, but I feel like they love taking it home and playing with it. It's a craft that lasts for a really long time. And I think there's also a lot of benefits to making slime. With so many distractions around kids these days, I just think it's important to teach them a little bit of mindfulness and learning to be present and focused on the task at hand. Another, I think, huge benefit is that a lot of kids find it really calming to stretch it and just not really have to be thinking about it, but to kind of lower their anxiety just by playing with it. So yeah, I just thought we could make some slime together.
Great.
It's only 3 simple ingredients. So the first one is Elmer's glue. And a lot of, at your house, you probably only have like the little bottles, but that works.
That's a lot of Elmer's glue.
Yeah. So the first thing is just 3/4 cup Elmer's glue.
And just while she's pouring this, we will post this recipe for you.
This will take just a minute.
It's not the fastest pouring, huh?
No. Another thing that slime is great for, because we're focusing on siblings, I think it's a really great thing to promote like independent play. It's something that kids can do and not have to have the attention of their parents for a little while. So that's another plus. Still just measuring out my 3/4 cup.
One more to go. Yeah. And then maybe you can show us, Ella, what you're making it in.
Yeah.
Why you chose that.
For sure. So here at the center, we just like to use things that we have on hand instead of having to, go out and buy additional supplies. So we always just use paper bowls that stir pretty well. And then I'm just going to be mixing it with a plastic spoon.
Great.
So once you have your glue in here,
you could, yeah, that's perfect. We can see really well there.
The next thing you're going to add is a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda.
You want to show us the box?
Yep.
There it is. Look at that. Just any old brand of baking soda.
Yep. So you just add that in and you stir it really well. And then the third and final ingredient, we're actually going to be using Renew Contact Solution. So if you wear contacts, you might have this at home. If you don't, you can buy like smaller little travel bottles of it, so you don't waste the rest of the bottle. But you're just going to do 1.5 tablespoons of this. And I think there's a certain ingredient in the contact solution that activates the slime.
Okay, I'm laughing at myself right now, Ella, because I read it as some unusual ingredient and I had contact. Do you have to use Renew?
I think it is specifically this brand because certain ingredient in it. I'm not.
Okay. But, all right.
We've had good success with Renew specifically. All right, so then once you pour that in, you're just gonna stir it slowly and it'll start to get stretchy. Kind of takes some time. Just stir it all.
I see it's kind of binding already.
Yep. The kids love it because they love to watch it change and get sticky and slimy. But then it starts to firm up in a little bit. You can also, I didn't grab any food coloring, but a lot of times we'll use that, or we'll put glitter in it. There's lots of fun choices.
It's kind of reminding me of the book.
Yeah.
that when Tommy first got sick, things are just sort of slimy and moving fast and slippery and not formed. But then as they kind of got more information and they talked to each other, they got more and more formed how they want to handle their situation, you know?
Yeah, I think that's a really good metaphor.
Oh, wow. It's getting really,
It's really sticky.
yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that.
A little bit longer.
It's already looking fun.
Yeah. And then once it's done, kids just love to play with it.
Look at that. And how long can you keep that and how do you store it?
We send it home in just Ziploc bags. And I'm not sure really how long you can keep it or how long it lasts, but yeah.
Oh, very cool. And is there any warnings? Like I used to make it, but with a little bit different ingredients, and we would tell parents not to put it on anything that like has cloth or like the carpet.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good disclaimer that it can be messy. So keep it away from cloth. That's a good idea. But yeah, it's pretty simple to make slime.
Look at that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And I've even seen sometimes where they buy have little, you could just find them around your house, maybe little things in like a button or a little figurine or whatever, and that you kind of hide them in there and then they have to try to find them in there or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can make it kind of a game, kind of
Mm-hmm.
fun. And there are some kids that I've seen that have, I don't know, 20, they've made them and they keep them in Tupperware jars and they've made 20 different kinds. So you can break it off and make one glittery and one blue and one, yeah, like that.
Yep.
Very cool. Oh, I love that. Well, thank you for showing us that and sharing a little bit about what you do there at the Children's Healing Center and yourself. So that's all we have for you today. If you're interested, if you have had a person in your life, a child that is ill, and you're interested in learning more about the Children's Healing Center, as Ella has said to us before, talk with your doctor, your medical provider, or your social worker, or even someone at the hospital if you happen to be in the hospital, and they can help you get connected with the Children's Healing Center. And if you're on a cancer or grief journey and you would like some social emotional support, some peer support, we would love to connect you with our community. Everything we offer is 100% free. You can give us a call directly at 453-8300 or look on our website and we have a lot of information there and our September calendar. And I believe our October calendar just came out. And you can learn all about our virtual program. And that's at gildasclubgr.org. So I think that's all I have. Anything else from you, Ella?
I don't think so, no.
All right. Well, everyone, be well, stay safe, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Take care. Bye.